Pip was a tiny sparrow, a little bird with a big heart. His feathers were the color of sunshine, bright and cheerful, making him stand out among the other birds. He lived in a cozy nest high up in a tall oak tree, where he could see the world from above. Pip loved to sing. He sang to the clouds, to the wind, and to the sun. His songs were filled with joy and hope. He sang to everyone in the village below, bringing smiles to the faces of the villagers who heard his melodies. One day, while flying over the meadows, Pip saw something shimmering in the grass. It caught his eye immediately. It was a tiny golden grain, unlike anything he had ever seen before. It sparkled in the sunlight, almost as if it had a life of its own. Curious, Pip swooped down to investigate. He had to know what this mysterious object was. The grain glowed warmly, and Pip knew in his heart that it was something special. It felt magical, almost like it was meant for him. He carefully picked it up in his beak and flew back towards the village, his heart filled with a warmth he had never felt before. It was as if the grain was speaking to him, telling him that it had a purpose. This was no ordinary grain, it was a gift, a treasure that had found its way to him. Pip felt a sense of responsibility and excitement. He knew that this grain could bring something wonderful to the village. It was a gift meant to be shared, to bring joy and prosperity. And Pip knew just what to do with it. With determination in his heart and the golden grain in his beak, he flew towards the village, ready to share his newfound treasure with everyone. Nestled between rolling hills, Pip's village was a peaceful place, a haven of tranquility where time seemed to slow down. Colourful houses, built of wood and stone, stood side by side, each one unique yet harmoniously blending into the picturesque landscape. Friendly villagers, humans and animals alike, always had a smile for each other. They lived in harmony, sharing their lives and stories, creating a tapestry of warmth and community. There was Benny, the baker, with his delicious-smelling loaves. His bakery was the heart of the village, where the aroma of freshly baked bread brought everyone together. There was Mrs. Willow, the kind old rabbit, tending her carrot garden. Her wisdom and gentle nature were a source of comfort to all who knew her. And there was Thomas, the young boy who dreamed of flying, always looking up at the sky with wonder. His dreams were as boundless as the sky itself, inspiring others to reach for their own stars. Pip loved his village and everyone in it. The bonds they shared were unbreakable, forged through years of shared experiences and mutual respect. He knew they would be as amazed by the golden grain as he was. The fields, bathed in sunlight, were a symbol of the village's prosperity and the hard work of its people. More importantly, he knew this magical gift was meant to be shared. The spirit of generosity and community was the true magic of Pip's village, a treasure more valuable than gold. Pip landed gently on Benny's windowsill, the golden grain gleaming in his beak.
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Benny, covered in flour, came to the window with a smile.
Well, hello there, Pip. What have you brought me today?
Pip hopped closer and showed Benny the grain. Benny's eyes widened.
My, Pip, this looks magical.
Benny carefully took the grain from Pip's beak.
What a wonderful gift.
He whispered, his eyes sparkling with gratitude. Pip chirped happily, his heart filled with joy. Benny, touched by Pip's generosity, decided to plant the golden grain. He carefully prepared a small pot and watered it with care. To everyone's amazement, the grain sprouted quickly, growing into a magnificent stalk of golden wheat. The wheat yielded a bountiful harvest, enough to bake loaves of bread for the entire village. Benny, with a heart full of thanks for Pip, shared the bread with everyone. Each bite tasted of sunshine and kindness, reminding everyone of the little sparrow's selfless act. Section 5. A Circle of Kindness. Inspired by Pip and Benny, the villagers began to share what they had with each other.
Mrs. Willow shared her carrots, offering them with a smile to anyone who passed by her garden.
Thomas, filled with joy, helped Benny deliver the bread, his laughter echoing through the streets. The village, once peaceful, was now brimming with a new kind of joy. It was the joy of sharing, of caring for one another, and of recognizing the good that blossomed from a single act of kindness. Section 6. The Wise Turtle Speaks. One evening, as the sun cast long shadows across the village, Old Man Turtle, known for his wisdom, called everyone to the village center. He sat on a moss-covered stone, his wise old eyes twinkling.
My friends, we have all witnessed the magic that unfolds when we choose kindness and sharing. Pip, our little sparrow, reminded us that even the smallest act can ripple outwards, touching the lives of many.
The villagers listened intently, their hearts warmed by Old Man Turtle's words. They understood that Pip's gift was not just the golden grain, but a valuable lesson in compassion and generosity. Section 7. The Impatient Hare learns a lesson. Even Finley, the impatient hare, known for his selfishness, felt a change within him. He had always been in a rush, always thinking about himself and his own needs, but now something was different. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but he knew he was no longer the same hare he used to be. He had watched as Pip's single act of kindness transformed the village. It was a simple gesture, but it had a ripple effect that touched everyone. Finley saw how one small act could make a big difference, and it made him think about his own actions. He saw the joy in everyone's eyes, a joy he had never experienced before. The villagers were happier, more connected, and it was all because of kindness. Finley realized that he had been missing out on something truly special.
Finley, for the first time, felt a pang of regret for his self-centered ways. He thought about all the times he had put himself first, never considering how his actions affected others. It was a hard pill to swallow, but it was a necessary one. He realized that true happiness wasn't about being the fastest or having the most, but about being part of something bigger, something filled with kindness and love. It was about contributing to the well-being of others and finding joy in their happiness. From that day forward, Finley decided to turn over a new leaf. He made a promise to himself to be more considerate, to think about others before acting. It was a new journey, one that he was determined to follow. He started helping others, sharing what he had, and being kind to everyone he met. It wasn't always easy, but with each act of kindness, he felt a little lighter, a little happier. He saw the positive impact he was making, and it motivated him to keep going. He learned, just as the villagers had, that happiness multiplied when it was shared. The more he gave, the more he received in return. Finley finally understood that true joy came from being part of a loving, supportive community.
Section 8. Happiness blooms like a flower. The story of Pip the sparrow and the golden grain became a cherished tale in the village. It reminded everyone that kindness, like a seed, had the power to grow into something beautiful and strong.
And so, the village in the valley thrived, filled with laughter, kindness, and the sweet song of a tiny sparrow who taught them all the greatest lesson. Happiness blooms most beautifully when shared with love.